All right, so good morning. My name is Lori Dufresne, and I'm a certified health coach, been coaching for 9 years, and I'm so excited to bring to you the topic today of Element 4. It has been the biggest game changer in my life, and I'm excited for you. Put a 4 in the chat if you have started diving into Element 4. I would love to see how many of you are actually diving into the life book and jumping into really seeing these life-changing concepts and applying them into your life. Okay, cool. A couple of you guys. So this is good. I'm going to encourage you, if you have your life book, go grab it, because I think there is a lot of power in actually looking at the book in front of you. And as we go through this, you're going to actually see the value of what you're going to be seeing before your eyes here. So go ahead and let me share my screen. And we will dive in here together. So excited for this, you guys. So this was a new concept to me. And I'm going to start with Dr. A, what he says on page 103. So make a note. This is where you're going to get started in this element. Okay. And I love what he says here. When I say my goal for you is to become the dominant force in your life, I'm being very serious. When you have the internal stability and external equilibrium, each day of your life will become all out magical. You will possess a habit that most people have never even thought about. So sit with that for a second, because so many times we're just programmed to think, well, this is what life looks like. At that phase in my life when I found Optavia, I was just like, well, I'm a mom of young kids. This is just what life looks like. It's gotta be hard. Like, I didn't know there was another way. And so wherever you're sitting today and thinking about, well, this is just what life looks like, we're gonna challenge your thought process today to learn how to become that dominant force in your life. And I said this last week too, like, we all, depending on what your beliefs are and such, of course, we're not saying we are the supreme being of our life, right? We're just saying we have the ability to get ourselves out of bed every morning and make this day the most amazing day. We have that ability to do it. And that's what we're going to dive into talking a little bit about. So in element 4, you're going to be hearing about being above the line or below the line. When we're below the line, we're closed and we're defensive and we want to be right. Okay. And when we're above the line, we're open and we're curious and we have a growth mindset. Okay. So the first thing we want to do is establish, where is our location? Okay, so I'm going to play this short little video. It's only about 3 minutes, and this is going to help us to get kind of settled and understanding what this concept is, and then we're going to hear some real life examples after that. So here we go.
One question that conscious leaders ask themselves over and over is, where am I? To support leaders in locating themselves as they ask the question, where am I? We offer this tool, a line, a simple black line. At any moment, all leaders and all people are either above the line or below the line. Our location describes how we're being with what is occurring in our life right now. If we are above the line, we are open, curious, and committed to learning. If we are below the line, we are closed, defensive, and committed to being right. Stop right now and simply ask yourself, where am I? In this now moment, am I above the line or below the line? Typically, when people are below the line, they believe certain things about the world. For example, they believe there is not enough. It could be that there's not enough money, or time, or space, or energy, or love. People below the line also believe that their story about the situation is right. People below the line also believe that there is a threat out there. Something or someone is threatening their desire for approval, control, or security. And people below the line see the situation as serious. The deeper below the line they are, the more serious things look. People below the line tend to behave certain ways as well. They tend to cling to an opinion, find fault and blame, gossip, explain, rationalize and justify, get overwhelmed, and avoid conflict or pursue conflict for the sake of winning. When people are above the line, they believe that learning and growing are more important than being right. They believe that all people and circumstances are their allies, here for their growth. They believe that from a distance, almost everything is funny. People above the line live in curiosity, listen deeply, speak unarguably, question all their beliefs, and live a life of play. Now, Knowing what you know about being above or below the line, where are you? One thing to know as you consider this question: we are hardwired to go below the line. Literally, our brain is programmed to perceive threat, and when it does, a chemical cocktail courses through our veins, and we go below the line. This reaction was designed to help us survive in the presence of a real threat to our physical survival. An issue for modern-day leaders is that often our brains can't tell the difference between a threat to our physical survival and a threat to our ego or identity. We react and get defensive when we experience a threat to our ego. So in many ways, being below the line is natural and normal. But when we are below the line, we're not in a state, literally brain state, of high creativity, collaboration, innovation, and relational connection. We're simply trying to survive. Leaders today can't thrive if they're in survival mode. So the first activity of conscious leadership is location, location, location. In this now moment, where am I? Telling ourselves and others the truth about our current location begins the great conversation.
Sorry. So good, right? So what we're going to do, sorry, it looks like my picture is a little tilted. I did this at 5 a.m. this morning. So that location, we have to take a look at where we are. And I want to start talking about below the line right now. Okay. That video is so good. And we can ask your coach for that if you want to watch that again. But it's a very clear understanding of what we want to do is we want to stop when we're in the moment where we're feeling like we're maybe in the drama triangle. We're experiencing things like feeling like it's not fair, or it's being done to me. We're in a place of fear, resentment. We're focusing on like the negative things that are happening, right? A concept I had a really hard time with is hero. Because I am a hero, I'm a recovering hero, and I always overextended myself, which I wanted to volunteer for everything. I wanted to help everybody. I wanted to do everything because I felt like that made me feel good. But what happened is that left me empty. And then I became resentful, and I became a little frustrated with people if maybe things didn't go exactly the way I wanted it to go. And then I would become a villain. Right? I would get mad. I would get mad at other people because they invited me to do something and I showed up and maybe they didn't thank me properly, or maybe they didn't appreciate me. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that my decision was creating the drama. And so this concept can be truly life-changing. And I know you may be thinking to yourself, well, okay, I came to this because I'm trying to lose weight. I'm trying to get healthier. What does this have to do with anything? It has everything to do with it. Because when we understand where we are in the drama triangle, many of us are emotional eaters. What's leading us to make those choices? And when we can focus on what Dr. A calls energy management, emotional management, then we are now in control now. We are that dominant force because we are thinking and we are in a conscious state of being instead of unconsciously making choices or subconsciously deciding for things that we thought that's the way it should have gone, or I need to do it because I always do it this way. So we're breaking through old programming, and now we have the tools in our tool belt to make the conscious choices to understand where am I in location right now. That's always going to be the first step of becoming and living in the empowerment triangle, which is next. When we're in the empowerment triangle, now we are above the line, okay? We're in the creative process. We're saying I'm in charge of what happens, right? I create my own experience. I'm going to create my new story. I can help empower other people to be successful when I become more empowered and knowing that this is I'm that dominant force making these decisions. I'm open and curious to learn. And the biggest one of all, these obstacles help me to get better. We embrace the obstacles as the way. We embrace the things that are happening in our life. And we say, what can I learn from this experience, instead of being in the victim, the drama triangle, and saying, this is happening to me. What the empowerment triangle teaches us is how is this happening for me? We're focusing on the future of what am I going to learn from this experience instead of kicking and screaming in the moment. Okay. So again, what we wanted to do today is get some real life examples of people that have taken themselves out of the drama triangle and into the empowerment triangle. So as we're going through these, try to relate this to yourself, okay? Let's try to relate these to things that are happening in your personal life right now so that you can apply these tools and concepts. So the first person I'm going to bring on is Karen Natiros, and she's going to talk a little bit about how she pulled herself out of the drama triangle with some family situations.
Okay, everyone, hello. One of the things that I learned about this section of the life book is, we start the program with Stop, Challenge, Choose, and we're usually talking about food, but Stop, Challenge, Choose is like all about really every aspect of your life. So I found myself in, and this is kind of emotional, but I found myself in a very, very painful family situation. And the details don't matter, but it was very painful for me. And it's still ongoing. But when it first happened, man, let me tell you, I was in every single part of the drama triangle. I lived there for probably close to a month, even though I knew element 4, I knew what I should be doing, but I lived in it. And I was feeling like sometimes like I was the victim, and then I would move from victim to villain, like blaming everyone else. And then I'd be the hero trying to fix everything. And it got me nowhere, but pretty much debilitated and very, very down. And someone very close to me, which is why support is always very, very valuable, said to me, you create your own experience. And those words kind of finally hit me. And I was like, yes, I do create my own experience. I can't control what's happening around me, but I can control how I respond and react to it. And that started to bring me out of feeling like a victim and feeling like a villain and blaming and looking at everybody else. I started to pull myself out of it and focus on how is this happening for me, not to me? What do I need to learn and how can I grow through this? Because I believe all things happen for good. And I believe, that God is in control and he is working this for me, not doing it to me. So you can start to pull yourself out and think on good things. When you go into those bad thoughts, you have to catch yourself and pull yourself out. And that's all the time I have. I could talk on this forever, but it's just identifying where you are and moving yourself out and realizing that you don't have to stay there.
So powerful, Karen. Thank you so much. I'm going to refrain from adding comments to everyone because there's so many people I want you to hear from today. So thank you for that. Our next up is going to be April Pitcairn, and she just so happens to be sitting right next to me. And she's going to talk about getting out of the drama triangle in the workplace. There she is.
There I am. Hi, everybody. Okay, so what happened to me was I was in a very toxic work environment. I had a very unethical boss when I started this whole journey, my health journey. And until I really started getting into the life book and really understanding that the elements were everything, it wasn't just what I put in my mouth. So many things that I've been learning through the life book are about that. So when I could just really echo every single thing that Karen just said. So it really was when I decided to take control of my own life, because that's the only life I have control of. When I decided to do that and get rid of that toxic job that I had, it started changing everything for me. Everything. So what I ended up doing, and guys, I heard this just the other day on one of our health coaching seminars, or not seminar, but a session, which is one of the reasons that I've grown so much in the 7 years with my mind transformation, is I heard about the definition of decide. So if you think about it, if you look up side in the dictionary, you will see that it means to kill. So if you think about it, homicide, pesticide, suicide, it all means to kill. So what decide is killing all other options. That was powerful for me. And that is what I basically did with my job. I decided to kill all other options. I don't need the toxicity. I don't need all that stuff. What I want to do is surround myself with healthy mind. And that is, basically what I've done by embracing the life book, by embracing sessions like these, and just leaning into my mentorship. So thanks, guys.
Awesome. Thank you. That's so powerful. And you guys, you all get to make that decision, right? It's always when you decide to open your life book and make this a change of transformation in your entire life, that's when things really change for you. It's always going to begin with that decision. So next up, we've got Shelly, and Shelly's going to talk about how she moved from the drama triangle into the empowerment triangle regarding parenting.
Hi guys, I'm going to really try to stay under 2 minutes, but a little bit about me. I was 100 pounds, of course my dog's barking now. I was 100 pounds overweight because of what happened after 4 p.m. Because as a parent, after school pickup, I felt like it was in the pits at Indy. I was running around, going all over the place. And I realized, and after doing this, for well over 6 months, I was finally thinking, I better identify some patterns here, so this is how I moved. First, I spent 6 months feeling sorry for myself. I knew I was never going to quit. I'm going to try again tomorrow. I'm going to try again tomorrow. But then after about 6 months of this not working, I decided to kind of take some inventory. I thought I need to recognize patterns, which is element 3, if you haven't read it, which is identifying cues. What I knew is I was subconsciously in that zone. I was emotionally eating because of anxiousness and overwhelm. So what I did was I recognized that pattern first. Secondly, I gave myself credit and I said, you know what? I only have to worry about 6 hours out of the day is when I'm off. The other, 18 hours, I am fine. So I just got to nail down the 6 hours. What I did was I set my alarm for like 6 p.m. because that was when I was at my worst. And I put down my favorite quote that put me back into a more conscious state so I could better make decisions. It was a quote that resonated with me, that really spoke to me. So, and that quote was this: I am unconditionally committed to my daily process without being emotionally attached to my daily result. That helped considerably. The second thing I did is what I really realized is I was doing what was most urgent instead of what was most important. That was huge for me. So I focused on what was most important and scheduled that first. See, that's my alarm. I scheduled that first, and then everything else fell around that. And that's when everything started shifting for me, including the scale. Thanks, guys.
Love it. Love it. And priorities and boundaries, like we were talking about last week, makes putting you into that empowerment triangle as well. And then we're not feeling like we are resentful towards everybody else who is taking from us. We put ourselves as that dominant force. We set the priorities and the boundaries, and it's amazing how things start changing when you feel empowered. So awesome. Thank you, Shelly. Okay, we're going to bring Michelle up next. She's going to talk about how she moved into the empowerment triangle instead of the drama triangle to on the topic of comparative reality, which is so, so big when we're comparing ourselves to others. So take it away, Michelle.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Mark and we decided to get healthy for the 100th time in July of 2018. The good news about that time was that this was lasting, just due to all the components we have with this program. So Mark had to lose 200 pounds. I needed to lose about 65. So guess what happened when we started losing weight? Mark was like dropping the weight left and right, and I'm, after the initial few weeks, 2 pounds this week, 3 pounds this week. So easy to get caught up in comparative reality, So I was feeling frustrated, discouraged. Oh, poor me. Look at me. I'm doing exactly the same thing as Mark, but he's losing all this weight. And, I'm still losing it, but not as much. So So I had to, ask myself, and this is why we have a coach, because Lori helped me reframe things, but I needed to change the narrative from, this is hard. I needed to get out of that comparative reality, and comparative reality applies to every area of our life, work, family, friends. So this can be used everywhere. But so I had to change the narrative from this is hard to I've got some amazing goals I want to reach. What steps can I take to reach those goals? So this is what I did. I reminded myself, one, stay in structure, not emotion. No more poor me. I'm going to eat those feelings. I'm going to drink that water. I'm going to do what I need to do, follow the program. And then two, use your resources. We have the life book. We have the Habits of Health book. We have the Monday morning calls. We have your coach, troubleshoot with your coach. Sometimes we're a little off on the program. We're not drinking enough water, or we're not weighing and measuring our lean and greens, and that can make a difference. I had to not compare myself to others, compare myself to where I was yesterday. We always lose when we compare ourselves with others. So, and then, remember my why. I wanted more energy. I wanted to, I wanted to have more mental clarity. I was in a brain fog all the time. Those are huge whys. And then two, lastly, celebrate the NSVs. Man, I was fitting into clothes I hadn't fit in like 15, 20 years. And what an amazing feeling. So, you take those steps, you do that, it's all in the mindset and the attitude, and you've got this. And guess what? July 2018 to now, Mark and I are still healthy, and we're helping others. So you can do this.
Oh my gosh. It's like crazy.
Yay!
All I gotta say is what this woman has done in plugging into all components of the life book. She would not even get on a call and speak before. So I just need you guys to know that the book is there to stand tall in confidence. The book is there to help pull us out of that drama triangle and just stepping into the empowerment triangle. I'm just so proud of every single one of you that are sharing today, because I just want to say thank you to all of you that are sharing today, because these are people who are showing up every single day and doing the work and saying, how can I be better today than I was yesterday? And then how can I be better today than I was yesterday? Because we can just walk around life in that brain fog, right? But you guys, there's so much gold in what you are hearing today. And I really hope that you're going to go back and re-listen to this, because it is so magical to hear other people's transformation, because that's going to show you that you've got it in you too. So last but not least, I'm going to bring on Rocio, and she's going to talk about getting out of the drama triangle into the empowerment triangle in the area of self-worth and value.
Thank you, Lori. So long story short, I realized through this program that I've always grown up in a victim mindset. Poor me. Oh, of course that happened. Or oh, that person's, anyway, it's just such a negative place to be. And I'm such a helper. And so I'm an Enneagram too. I don't know if you know about that, but just, I'm like the ultimate helper. And so when people didn't need me, or when people when people spoke down to me, or it just, here's the thing. I was stuck in victim mindset with my worth and my value. I wasn't enough. There was threat of approval. I needed approval. I'm a words of affirmation gal. And so people didn't give me that. I was like, what did I do wrong? I was defensive and closed and overwhelmed and fearful, all inside though, internally. I looked all party and happy outside, but the thing is, it was hurting me internally. It was exhausting too. And I'm naturally a positive person, but I can, I could secretly fall quickly inside my brain. And so it's so important that in the time of that trauma, sometimes, let's be real, when you're a little bit feisty, when you're defensive. And that's the thing, is that when you start to feel those things, it's a matter of, here's how I get through it. I pause and I make a decision. Why am I trying to control this, right? I have no control over somebody else's opinion or what they're doing or whatnot, but I have the decision to make. I'm responsible for my response. And also just really you'll hear it again, creating my own experience. And how is this for me? What can I learn from this? No one's trying to, take over me. I, in my brain, have to get rid of that the lack of worth and value to know I am valuable, to be able to show up in the world up here, not being stuck in the drama triangle in the victim mindset. But you got this, and we're here to support you as your coaches. So thank you so much, Lori.
Thank you. So good. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm going to close us up today with this. Because you heard this key phrase with everybody, right? Stop, challenge, and choose. It's not just about your eating choices, you guys. This is going to affect you and impact you every single day of your life in every single situation, especially the healthy mindset. Okay, so the key to regaining control starts with self-awareness. We need to create a pause in our lives, even a momentary one, so that we can create time for areas of higher thought to be present. The conscious thoughts can take over and put you back in charge again. So that pause is everything, okay? And when we're having things show up for us, because they will every single day, like 20 to 30 times a day, that every time something comes in, I'm going to challenge you to pause and say, I create my experience. This is what we mean about you becoming that dominant force in your life. I create my experience. How am I going to react? Because we're not in control of the situation, right, guys? We're not in control. Sometimes things are happening. Horrible things are happening. Okay. However, I can't change the situation, but I can control how I'm going to react to the situation. So we pause, we stop, challenge, and choose. How am I going to react? And then the one thing I always tell myself is, I'm going to create my experience here. How am I going to make this a learning opportunity? And sometimes, you guys, the learning opportunity is just how we are reacting to the situation, and showing that we can control our reaction to keep us from falling deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into a deep, dark depression, into anxiety, into all of the things. We can control that just by changing our thoughts, taking ourselves to a place of gratitude, taking ourselves to a place of empowerment. Okay, so I really highly encourage you guys to open up that element 4. Ask your coach, if you don't already know, where to find the actual recording of the Habits of Health webinars, you guys. There's several of them that we've been doing over the last couple of years. And I can't encourage you enough. This is for you. Like the Habits of Health Zoom calls, they're for you. That the book is for you. Okay, so when we stop thinking about, oh, I only lost 1.5 pounds this week. Okay, stop. That's the drama triangle. Okay, the empowerment triangle is, how is that 1.5 pounds for me? What am I taking away from this experience? How can I start focusing on the healthy mindset, elevate my frequency, get on fire about the life I want to create for myself? That is what's going to help you moving on this journey and not giving up because it was only 0.5 or 0.25. Who cares? We didn't put it on overnight. We're not going to lose it overnight. But if we stop focusing on the weight loss and start focusing on the gratitude of, you guys have these tools in your tool belt now that you can actually start utilizing, that's going to help you show up as a better husband, a better wife, a better boyfriend or girlfriend or mother or friend, whoever you are to everyone in your life. Like, this is life changing if you decide to use it. All right. And we get to do this together in a community. This is the power of this community. Okay. 9 years ago, when I thought I was signing up to lose some weight, I had no idea what was coming my way. And you know what? I decide every single morning, it is a decision to kill. What did you say it was? To kill any other options. We are killing all other options. I am deciding today to make the choices that serve me, because if I serve me first and I put my oxygen mask on first, then I have the energy to help and serve others around me. Then I don't show up as a victim to my circumstance. I'm not showing up exhausted and overwhelmed and struggling. We don't even use those words anymore. Done. I kill those words. They don't serve me. Do you guys think I like this element a little bit? Do you know why I like this element? Because I eat it, live it, and breathe it every single day for the last 9 years. And my life is completely different because now I chose to use those tools. So I encourage you guys to take a deep dive into element 4. Really stay closely connected with our community. I can't encourage you enough. And if you want to learn more about our community and our coaching community, because that is really what elevated me to a completely different level. Our clients, like what we pour into you guys is amazing, but what our coaching partners, our Dr. Anderson pours into us is like through the roof, like a completely different level, and you deserve it. You deserve to invest in yourself and get the tools in your hand to be able to learn how to take your life to a completely different place. So if you want more information about our coaching community, Dr. A is hosting a webinar this morning at 9 o'clock Pacific for 1 hour. Do yourself a favor and just listen in and ask your coach, whoever is your coach, just reach out and say, can you send me the link to the webinar? It's a free webinar. And the information is also in Healthy Together actually as an event. So you could get the link from that too. Do yourself a favor. I just like to say, take time to invest in you. And that's, I believe truly what this coaching community has given to me is given me the highest level of life that I could possibly live. That is what it's life-giving and it's purpose-filled. So anyway, with that said, love you all. Guess what? Good news. We're going to continue these Saturday mornings. This was supposed to be the last one. All right. And I'm just getting so many positive feedback from everyone that they're saying, I want more, I want more, I want more. So we're going to keep going on Saturdays through the month of February, and we'll see if you guys still want more and more and more, and we're going to do it because I love spending Saturday mornings with you guys, and we're just going to keep moving in the elements. I want to bring that life book to life so you guys can fully comprehend it and do the work. So anyway, love you guys. Have a wonderful Saturday and hope you all take time to get on that webinar at 9 o'clock or in 1 hour. All right. Have a good day. Thank you to everybody who shared. You guys were amazing. Love you guys.